Some homeowners in Dayton shared with me they thought they dodged a bullet during this weekend storm, but by the looks of it, they didn't.
I honestly feel that we're going to get more water in here. I think it's going to go over the sandbags. We're getting a lot of seepage underneath them right now.
Bill Griggs is renting a place on Harbor Drive and says this wall of sandbag stretching along the property was built by crews from Lyon County. He hopes when this storm passes through, the county will consider some future adjustments to prevent this type of flooding.
The improvement, in my estimation, from what I see, is they need to come in here and dredge that river deeper and build that bank up higher as they're dredging, and that would keep this from happening.
Typically from here you can't see the Carson River flowing, but that is not the case today. The river broke and spilled over to nearby properties, causing some homeowners to stress.
Stunned and very scared. Thank goodness that the rescue showed up and gave us all the sandbags and everything to help us out a little bit.
Susie Donahue owns this property after her husband passed away. She gets emotional thinking about having to leave her home if they're forced to evacuate. Despite parts of her lot already submerged in 7 feet of water, this is Donahue's wish.
Just that the property is in good shape when this is all said and done.
For some, preparing for the worst and hoping for the best is all they can do.
I got to keep a positive attitude. There's nothing I can do but try to control the water level, you know? I mean, that's all I can do. I mean, the more you get down, the more you got to fight to stay alive, right? You just got to keep going. That's all you can do.
Mount Rose Highway has been closed on and off since Sunday, and we can see why.
This is what Lake Tahoe winters are supposed to be about. Everybody kind of forgot this over the past few years.
Road closures has impacted Mount Rose Ski Resort, but employees were also busy digging their way out just in time for this holiday weekend.
Everybody should have called in sick or done something, but yeah, today was a beautiful day. Again, there was nobody and the powder was nice and fresh.
A week later, Mount Rose reopens with nearly 11 feet of snow, and 1,600 skiers and snowboarders are taking advantage of the fresh powder by hitting the slopes.
People started getting in that lift line earlier than I've seen them get in line in a long time.
It was great to see. Plenty of snow.
Yeah, well, we've all been waiting 4 days for Mount Rose to open, checking the website. They've been great in keeping it updated. And so as soon as we heard that the highway was open, everyone came up, and it was just a fantastic, beautiful, epic day at Mount Rose today. It was a lot of fun.
In just a month, Mount Rose has become a winter wonderland.
It's crazy. It's opened up terrain on the mountain that a lot of us as longtime skiers here haven't skied for, 10 years.
The resort has gotten so much snow, there's talks of a long ski season ahead of them, and visitors don't mind.
We're actually season pass holders, and we love it here because it's not as packed and just the atmosphere is really great.
Awesome. On Mount Rose, Diane Tao.
I cried. I saw them dancing in the streets on Calle Ocho, and I cried.
The news of former Cuban leader Fidel Castro's death hit home for Sparks woman Laura Chattel.
To me, good riddance to bad rubbish. The man killed my father.
Her dad, Leo Francis Baker, was killed in Cuba during the Bay of Pigs invasion. He was one of 4 CIA pilots trying to overthrow the Castro regime during the 1961 mission. Cuban fighter planes shot down Leo's B-26 while he was trying to assist anti-Castro ground troops. He and his co-pilot survived a fiery crash, but were executed soon after.
Fidel was the one who pulled the trigger. But because my father looked Cuban, they thought he was one of the freedom fighters, and so they dragged him through the streets and then tossed him in the trash.
Under the cover of darkness, Cubans later found her dad's body and buried him in a mass grave. His family never recovered his body.
They had the decency to put him in the ground somewhere. He didn't get his Catholic service, but they didn't let him rot, in the garbage. And for that, I'm thankful. I'll always be grateful to them for that.
Laura says Fidel's death brings some closure. However, she says not all wounds are healed, since Fidel's brother Raul is in power now.
One down, one to go.
Right now, the Truckee River sits at about 5 feet, but tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, when the river level peaks, the water will be over my head and over this retaining wall. Experts anticipate the river to rise nearly 13 feet, causing moderate to major flooding. Today, Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval, Reno Mayor Hillary Sheevey, and other local leaders toured the 3 spots most prone to flooding.
This isn't an if, this is going to happen, and we do have the benefit of knowing that it's going to happen and being able to prepare.
Washoe County, Reno, Sparks, and a few neighboring counties have already declared states of emergency. In Reno, Nevada, Ben Marjat.
Well, as the sun came up, we started to see a lot more of the damage that was left behind. And at 4:30 this morning, there were people walking up and down here to see it for themselves.
I mean, it's scary. I mean, the power of water is pretty amazing. How much water has so much power in it.
You know, when you live with a wild thing like that, you live with a risk.
And wild it was, with the water taking out anything that stood in its path and sending it towards the Arlington Street Bridge. And that's where David Weaver, who works for Q&D Construction, comes in. His job, find the debris and grab it quick.
It's tricky. You know, once you get the hang of it, it seems to go okay, but you don't get all of them. I missed a bunch.
He's being modest. He caught a lot of these logs and branches, all in hopes of keeping the bridge clear and maybe having a little fun at the same time. Be honest, you have probably one of the coolest jobs this morning down here.
Yeah, I do.
It's his work, with the work of a lot of others, that has Rich Hero, who lives nearby, saying thanks.
Well, it looks like all the work that they've done on the channels here is held up.
And while we have a not too bad idea right now of what the damage is like, and could be at least here in the downtown area, we have got another storm on the way. In Reno, I'm Melissa Carlson.